How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. Today, I'm going to be answering some of your questions about surge protectors, solar panels, and yes, the RV Sewer Adapter Pro. You guys had a ton of questions about this from the RV Super Show, and I have a few questions of my own that I want answered. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So to start off, out of all the gear that I highlighted at the RV Super Show in Tampa, the one thing that got the most comments was the RV Sewer Adapter Pro. Did they say when the Camco Rhino RV Sewer Adapter Pro would be available? Hey Jared, did Camco have part numbers for the tote accessory box or the RV Sewer Adapter Pro? Hey Jared, was looking for the Camco Sewer Adapter Pro, can't find it. Have you seen it being sold anywhere? Any idea when the sewer adapter is coming out? You get the point. I had a lot of questions about this. A lot of people were pretty excited about it. I found the link. The link is down in the description, and they did send this to me because remember at the RV show, they only had 2 ever made. Even the plastic, clear plastic, didn't match because they were really prototypes at that time, but now I got one in hand. The questions I had were, how tight does this fit and where's it gonna fit in my storage? Because this replaces kind of that donut shape or that rubber insert that goes in when you don't have any threads on the inside of the pipe for that sewer connection. And this gives you that fitting on there, and then it clamps it down. When you pull that lever, you can see that this rubber fitting on there expands. So whether those threads are messed up in there or not, this should lock into that pipe. And you have the 2-tiered system there, so no matter what size pipe you have there, it should be able to lock into that pipe. So no more trying to stack rocks or weight this thing down so that when the water hits it, it knocks it out. And this should give you a pretty airtight seal when connecting. I see why people were excited about this because nobody likes a mess when dealing with the black tank. Then when you're done, you have the handle to hold on to. So now seeing where this stores, because I'm fairly certain that this isn't going to fit inside of our tube system, but we did make that extra storage in the back in order to be able to store things like this. They did also debut at the show the Ultimate RV Sewer Kit. With 20 feet of hose, and the container itself that stores everything becomes the support for the hose. The lid being the lowest and the box being the tallest of the support kit. So as always, links are going to be down in the description to everything that we're talking about, to this hose storage support system, and of course the RV Sewer Adapter Pro. I'll also put a link to Camco's product page because they did debut quite a few products on there. So these were just 2 that they sent me to be able to check out. I just checked the link to make sure that it was good and realized that it's out of stock right now, but that link's still going to be good. So when it comes back in stock, it'll be there, but you might be able to find it at Walmart. So they are stocking them at Walmart too. So just a side note. This one's definitely improvement over the donuts and weights that we've used in the past. So let's move on to our next one. This question is, could you elaborate on the mounting system you used for the solar panels? Did you produce a video installing the rail system? I mentioned it a while back, but I've never really done a video on it. It's actually not on the RV, it's on the project trailer. So this is the K2 rack system from Santan Solar. You can get it other places, that's where I had picked it up. But my goal was here, I wanted to completely cover this roof 100% in solar panels and just max this thing out. And I think that's usually one of the big reasons why people go with a rack system, is just to get maximum solar panels for their roof. And the other thing is, it's easy to be able to take on and off solar panels when you have it this way. The reason I didn't do a video on it is because it didn't fully work out. Number one, these are the tallest legs you can get for this system, and it didn't raise it above the AC unit, so you can't actually fully cover the panels over these AC units. Number two is I did build some brackets to be able to take the panels above the AC, because these are low profile ACs up here. But the thing that I didn't like is that it stifled the air movement of these AC units, especially this one, the Houghton, because it blows that air up and it's going right underneath that solar panel. So you're kind of trapping that heat in there. Yes, it's being shaded, and so it's not getting as hot in the sun, but it's still kind of trapping that airflow, and with ACs, airflow is really key to them working. But while we're on the subject, I also don't like the typical solar panel mounts that are out there, and I like something that makes it to where you can actually remove the solar panel from the roof. The typical one, you bolt it to the panel, that gets screwed down into the deck. You have no way to really get to the back side of that nut and bolt to be able to take that panel off. I like a bracket that has a bolt so that you can actually remove that panel if you needed to. If you need to replace it, clean underneath it, seal underneath it, whatever you needed to do. I like brackets like that. They have the ones for the curved roofs that can also be used on flat roofs that kind of give you that two-part system. I had some extra of the typical ones that I don't like. I cut them in half and bolted them together so it gives me that same effect, but not something I'd necessarily 100% recommend doing all the time. It was kind of a waste of time when there's already a product out there for that. That's just my 2 cents. On to the next. Okay, our next question from Fran Flannery 8711 is, I'm confused. Should you use a surge protector before plugging in your RV? How does that work if you have an onboard one and the plug is bad? So yes, this is my preference. We have a hardwired surge protector, EPO, EMS on the RV. Ours is the Power Watchdog. I love it. It's out of sight. It's out of mind. It does its job. But we do also like to travel with an analyzer, a circuit analyzer that we can plug in and check that pedestal. And you don't need anything expensive. And something like this isn't necessary if yours is an external unit. And ours isn't something that we plug in and then plug the RV into that. We can check that receptacle before we even unhook from the truck. We can check it to make sure, hey, do we need to move to another site while they work on this one? It just saves you a little bit of hassle and headache. Yes, it's a little bit overkill and redundant, and we don't leave that one plugged in out there when we plug in the RV. It's really just to check it, unplug it, plug in the RV. And then if something does happen inside of the park, which has been known to happen upstream, downstream, they're changing some kind of wiring, creates a problem for your RV. Our hardwired one's going to catch any problem that's going to be coming our way. But from the initial get-go, I can see if that plug is good. If I have any concerns, I can address that before I even really get going and get started. That's just my preference. That's the way that I like to do it. Next question. Do you use UV protectant on solar panels, or is that a no-no? It's really not necessary, especially with the rigid panels that we have on here. We have glass on top, it's aluminum on the side. I'm not really worried about any of that breaking down from UV, but we do use UV treatment on any of the plastic components that are up there on the roof. Plastic is the thing that you really want to hone in on and treat for any kind of UV degradation. You want to slow that down, and as much as you can. It's still going to happen, but you want to definitely slow it down and make that stuff last up there as long as you possibly can. This next question is on the water purifier. Does it reduce the pressure of the water going into the rig? No, but kinda yes. The perception is the pressure is dropping, but you would never want to use a water filter to try and decrease the pressure. What's happening is it's more or less restricting the flow, especially if you don't have a good water filter and a fresh water filter. One that's getting clogged it's going to be slowing down that water even more. So if you're in the shower or you're noticing that the water pressure is going down, it's probably that flow being restricted. But you still want to have a water pressure regulator on there, because when you turn off that water, that pressure is going to slowly come into your RV. And if it's 75, 90 PSI, you're going to start blowing pipes in there, and that water filter is not going to do anything to really block that pressure. You're really restricting flow, which feels like less water pressure in there while you're using it, but that's really what's happening there. And I always recommend using a pressure regulator, because we were in a place that had just about 25 PSI, which was ridiculously low. That's what it was when we got there and we tested it. I'm guessing they had a problem, because later on the pressure actually did go up, but we were just filling up our tanks, because our water pump can produce more than that and give us better water pressure inside the RV. That's a good reminder to always use the pressure regulator, because you don't know if there's a bunch of people using water in the park and you test the pressure, you're like, oh, the pressure isn't that high, I'm not going to use it. And then everybody stops using that water and then the pressure goes up. That could be a problem. Or like in the situation we were at, they fixed whatever was wrong and that pressure went up. So it was good to have that on there. So I think that's going to do it for today. Again, links are going to be down in the description. So if you've been waiting for the Sewer Adapter Pro, or you wanted to see some of our recommendations for surge protectors and gear that we like to use, all those links are going to be right down in the description or in that first comment down below. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it helped you out in some way. So if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Take care.